You know, Jason, it's hard to believe that it's been 20 years since Tiger won the 1997 Masters. You know what, he may be the biggest name in golf, but he's such a private and reclusive person.
Yeah, I mean, the guy has a yacht named Privacy, so that tells it all right now. And it's been hard to get to know him over the years for anybody, his peers, journalists, whoever. But one guy who has gotten that opportunity recently is Lorne Rubenstein. Lorne's a Canadian Golf Hall of Famer, longtime writer for the Globe and Mail, longtime writer for SCOREGolf magazine. He released a great Q&A with Tiger last December in Time magazine, and now, as we mentioned off the top of the show, Lorne is writing Tiger's book on that 97 Masters, and he took time to talk with us about that process and about getting to know Tiger a little bit better.
Tiger Woods might be the most recognizable athlete in the world. No matter where he goes or how incognito he tries to be, people know exactly who he is. Some athletes embrace such celebrity and soak up the bright lights and party life that come with the fame. Super Bowl champ Rob Gronkowski is meant for the spotlight and all the glorious opportunities that come with it. Magazine covers, endorsement deals, award shows. Tiger Woods? Well, he's a different sort of cat. The more he won, the more people wanted a piece of him. And the more Tiger, a billionaire thanks to his earnings both on and off the golf course, basically wanted to be left alone. Recently, the oft-injured Woods has been even more of a recluse. But for some public outings at charitable events and golf courses he designed, and his vice captain role at the Ryder Cup where he still flew under the radar, we've barely heard a peep from Tiger. After successive back surgeries last fall, he basically disappeared from the golf world, leaving behind a tour he helped explode into a global powerhouse. The man might best be described using a famous Winston Churchill quote, "A riddle, wrapped in a mystery, inside an enigma." But just before going dark, on the eve of his 40th birthday last December, Woods opened up more than he ever had before. And he did so to Canadian Golf Hall of Famer and longtime SCOREGolf columnist Lorne Rubenstein, who broke the Woods barrier with a must-read interview in Time magazine. Woods talked about his childhood, his successes, his failures, his marriage, his mistakes, his children, and even the possibility of never playing competitive golf again. The piece sent shockwaves throughout the golf world, not just for what Woods revealed, but also for what he didn't try to hide.
I went down to Jupiter and met him for 2.5 hours in his restaurant, and there were no conditions on the interview. He was very candid, and I think that's why people enjoyed it. It humanized Tiger. He opened up about a lot of subjects on and off the golf course. You know, he's cloaked himself in mystery over the years. Who knows what it's like to walk in his shoes? So he's been reticent, certainly with the media, with the press. And then, of course, there was the personal difficulties in 2009, which, of course, got worldwide attention for reasons other than golf. And still now, even when he really hasn't been playing now for 15 or 16 months, as soon as he issues a press release or something comes out about him, he's the major news. He's still the moves the needle more than any golfer.
Rubenstein has been around golfers his entire life and has chronicled Canadian greats Mo Norman, George Knudson, and Mike Weir, among others. As a former competitive amateur and a man who's traveled the world to write about golf, Rubenstein has always been able to relate to the game's best, and many of the stories he's told over the years have come from intimate encounters on the golf course.
There's the observer in me and the journalist part of me, but there's also the golfer part of me. And I think golf's a game that allows you to tee it up, if you can, with players. You know, I couldn't play tennis against Rafael Nadal or whatever unless he just lobbed the ball over the net. But you can go out and play golf with all of these guys. You know, I played with Arnold Palmer. I just called him up. Same with Mo. I got to know Mo, and then when I became a writer, I wrote a lot about him because he fascinated me just as a human being. I did keep notes since I was a kid, since I first met him. In the same way with the Tiger book, I've got like, you know, I got a room full of notes. And archives about Tiger from following him since before he turned pro.
Rubenstein's Time article with Woods put him inside Tiger's inner circle, and the journalist's demeanor and passion for the game clearly left a positive impression as it helped him land his latest project, a book with Woods about the golfer's first major title, the 1997 Masters.
This book is a memoir of the 97 Masters. It's in conjunction with the 20th anniversary of his coming out as a professional and winning his first major by so much, shooting 40 on the first 9, and some people were writing him off, and he comes around and shoots 30, goes ahead and wins by 12. Still the biggest margin anyone has ever won the Masters by. And then he won the US Open in 2000 by 15. So the book has a lot of time shifts back and forth, and he reflects on the game, and it's getting inside the head of a genius in golf, you know, who's really done some amazing things. And for me as a golfer, never mind as a writer, it was fascinating. It's been fascinating, just the little things, the minute things that he might see as important that we would never ever think about, that he sees as critical.
Woods is an untouchable athlete. He talks when he wants to talk, and he plays when he wants to play. His on-course manners and off-course indiscretions have caused many to label him standoffish and self-centered. But Rubenstein, who spent time with many all-time great athletes including Muhammad Ali, believes Tiger is caring and curious about the lives of others.
To me, when I'm talking to him, he seems like just a pretty regular guy. He's been engaging and open and friendly, and you know, you meet a lot of famous people and you know, the lines of work we're in, and a lot of times when you spend time with them, you realize after a few hours they haven't asked you one question about yourself. Tiger's not like that. The first time I met him in the restaurant, he was asking me about my own family, kids, these sorts of things. So, you know, once he's comfortable with you, and he wouldn't have done this if he weren't comfortable with me, and he was, you know, interested in my life as well, which, you know, I found that, you know, a very useful insight into him.
No matter what you think of Tiger Woods, one thing is certain. His impact on golf is evident in every aspect of today's game. From power, to fitness, to flair, to emotional outbursts, and to the game's global reach, there is the pre-Tiger era and the post-Tiger era. His professional career began in August of 1996 when he sat at a podium at the Greater Milwaukee Open and uttered 4 memorable words.
I guess, hello world, huh?
But his donning of the green jacket 8 months later, the first of his 14 major championships, set the sporting world on its ear. You can relive that magical week through Woods' eyes, with the help of Rubenstein's writing, nearly 20 years after the fact when the book is released next March.